that most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy. You have an apartment you have to pay for. You have a car you leased. You have a wife that you have to feed. You have a child you have to raise. You have your mortgage. You have your this. You have your that. And that's where it all comes from. The opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like, if I had to, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz, if I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation almost every time. It's hell. What you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window, and then you have to have a plan, and you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. Try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have. Whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific. When you're thinking about Instagram, because what essentially Instagram is with a lot of people is you're giving them the opportunity to be their own PR agent. And they always go towards the glamorous, you know? And when anybody does show, hashtag no filter, if they really do that, like, oh, you're so brave. Look at you. No makeup. Oh, my God, you don't have makeup on. You still look hot as fuck. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, too. They're letting you know. And then they're feeding off that comment section. Ooh, just a little sitting there like it's a fresh stream of love. Like you're getting right up to the source as it comes out of the earth and you're just sucking that. My concern is not so much what Instagram is that I didn't think that people had the need for this or the expectation for some sort of technology that allows them to constantly get love and adulation from strangers and those. Like, what's the next one? What's the next one? Like, where is it? Is it going to be augmented? Is some sort of a weird augmented or virtual sort of Instagram type situation where you're not going to want to live in this real world? You're going to want to interface with this sort of world that you've created through your social media page. That seems, we have that HTC Vive here, and I've only done it a couple times, quite honestly, because it kind of freaks me out.
Sure.
My kids fucking love it, man. They love it. They love playing these weirdo games and walking around with that headset on. But part of me watching them do it goes, wow, I wonder if this is like the precursor. Just sort of like if you look at that phone that Gordon Gekko had on the beach, have to look up and try to figure out, like, why are we in Afghanistan? Or why is this happening? Or why is that important? Or why is this law being passed? Or what's the real motivation behind this drug being pushed? Like, what the fuck is going on with that guy who's... And there's so much of that in this world that you could lose yourself. Like, if you didn't have a job and your entire day was sifting through the news and trying to find truthful narratives versus propaganda, you would lose your fucking mind. It's a crazy thing to figure out, though. It's like that you figured it out, and you didn't just figure it out, you embraced it. Like when you were talking about your senior year of high school, when you're talking about your mirror being your accountability mirror, like you had a radical shift. Like you just decided to not be a fucking loser, and to start tightening up and start holding yourself accountable and get ready for things. The ego, or do you need to have the desire to achieve excellence? Is that always the ego? Can you do that without the self? Can you do that just as a task, as a goal, and be completely committed and single-minded in your approach to try to achieve excellence? Can you do that without the ego? Can you do it as a project? Can you do it as a task? John Danaher wrote some really fascinating piece on his Instagram about routine, about how important it is if you're a great athlete. He said, you find me a great athlete, I'll find you someone whose life is governed by routine. And that this is the way to check progress, and this is the way to constantly be moving towards your goal. And have everybody join in. Hey, anyone could be you. Thank you for being honest about who you are now. Thank you for evolving. Thank you for expressing yourself in a way that maybe other people who have also committed really just unsavory or just unfortunate things in the past, unfortunate acts in the past, they can feel relieved by the fact that you've grown and evolved to become a better person.
Oh, yeah.
More hustle and more hustle mindset than anything you're ever going to get out of an Anthony Robbins book. Like, that is like just doing it. Just doing it makes you do more. Like, do more hard shit makes you do more hard shit.
Yeah.
Understanding that you want it bad, so you're willing to put into work and do things you don't want to do. It's what makes you have the confidence that you know how to push through. Always evaluating your perspective on life and always looking at things from meditate, constantly meditate. Make sure that you approach life with a learned perspective. Like, you're a better person than you were the day before. And whatever you're trying to do, whether it's fighting or whether you have an art form that you practice, whatever it is that you're doing, you're trying to do better every day. Be the hero of your own movie. If your life was a movie and it started now, forget about whatever financial disasters you've had, personal failures, relationship failures. What would the hero of your life's movie do right now? Do that. Do those things. We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. We look at our past and we say, well, that's me. That's not you. You are this person right now. You're the person who's learned from those failures, and you can choose to be the hero of your own movie right now. Write down your goals. Write down things you want to improve. Write down things you won't tolerate from yourself. Write down things that you've done in the past that you never want to see yourself do again. And go forth from here as the hero of your own movie. Build momentum. Build confidence and momentum with each good decision that you make from here on out. You can do it. Anyone can do it. We live in unique times. We live in one of the rarest times in human history where you can choose almost all the input that comes your way. Whether it's the movies that you watch, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, you can choose to be inspired. Do that. Do that and be the hero of your own movie.